we invite our friend Smoke Dixon, former general manager at Maryland, to come on and explain to us just the recruiting process and what happens now. But we're doing something special today. What are we calling today's discussion?
Free Game Monday. We're going to give it to them raw, uncut, get rid of the gray, keep it black and white, to the point, no answers. Will never get answered if you don't ask the right question. How about that?
I love it. Okay, that's going to be a theme of this discussion. So we're talking all about prospects. I'd say like your average prospect, as we know that some of these rules don't necessarily apply to some of those high level guys. But this is just if you want to know how this whole operation works, starting with the on-field evaluation process. When does that kick off for a prospect?
Well, if you're doing your job the proper way and you have your area, your local area or nationally area under consideration of doing it well, you start out in the 7th and 8th grade. Because once they get to high school, yeah, you've already lost 2 years on them. So the earlier you get on parents, decision makers, handlers, high school coach, who the 7-on-7 coach is, the better it is. So that actual recruiting process starts 7th, 8th grade. I've offered 8th graders and 7th graders because once they get to 9th grade, everybody jumps on them. And once they get on them, you'd like to be the first one that started that process to educate them in the proper way of now being attached to you at the hip through the recruiting process.
Speaking of education, academics do matter, everyone out there, especially when it comes to the recruiting process. So what do these players need to do to ensure that they are good to go so there's no surprises there as you get down the stretch of heading to college?
Well, once you walk in and you ask for that transcript, everyone knows those 4 core classes, your English, math, science, and social studies. They have to be on par of getting 4 credits. But what I wanted to do when I saw the transcript was to understand, what am I getting my hands on? What is that person? Is he a person that shows up late to classes? If you have a bunch of tardies on your transcript, I'm going to know that you like taking your time and you don't like showing up on time. So I have to know that you might not show up on time to practice. Then I also want to see what the absence are. If you're a person that's not going to class or going to school, but showing up to practice, yeah, that's not showing a complete student athlete. Now I also want to see, did you start your first semester out of the school year with a C? Then worked your way to an A, then went back down to a B, then to a C. Now it's inconsistent. If you're an A student, compete just like you were on the field, compete in the classroom. So I know I have an overall competitor. So when I start charging that player and start coaching them hard, I know what I'm going to get out of a response. I'm going to have a person that shows up on time, shows up every day to class and school, and when it's time to learn, they get it done because they want to compete and want to be the best at everything that they do.
It's not just the grades. It's a lot of little nuggets that you can learn from transcripts. Showing up and trying hard and consistent as well.
Study transcript, you'll know the person.
Yeah, you know the person. All right. Another good way to get to know someone is their social media presence. How can a player's presence online, though, maybe be a detriment to them during the recruiting process? How do they clean that up?
Well, understand that every school has a department just geared to combing and scraping through your social media. So whatever you put out there, they're being seen. So understand that you're on a job interview. And you're also showing what your 4 years or 5 years, depending on what you do, is going to look like. So if you have information on your social media that you don't want the world to know, don't put it on there. If you're liking, retweeting something from somebody else, understand that you're the one that's clicking that button. It counts for you as well, too. But also on the social media aspect of it, I wanted to know what I was getting my hands on. Who was recruiting this person? And how well attached are they to another program? We had a study that went back a few times, and the more likes and the more retweets that we had from a kid, we knew if we were going to have a good chance of recruiting them. Information that we gave to them in terms of social media, how many times do they post that? Shows you how much they're interested in you and how those conversations, that recruiting process is going overall. So social media plays a great deal and an important part of understanding who the prospect is. And again, the school is trying to get to know who you are. It's your job also to get to know what you're getting yourself into along the way, parents and players.
Yes, this is all about getting to know the prospect. So we talk about the academic side of it, the social media side of it, but then there's that on-campus visit, and that is all about presence and how you carry yourself and questions that you ask. So what are some of the do's and don'ts for when you take that on-campus visit?
Well, the first do that I would tell anybody is always bring a pen and paper with you or an iPad, something to gather and collect information. Because when you go on a visit, you're also researching the school, and the school's also doing their due diligence on yourself as well. Second thing that I want to interview the players. The players are going to give you more information than the actual coach that's trying to recruit you. They're trying to sell you. So there's not a lot of negative sell that's going on from the coach. But the player will give you 110% of what the life of a college student looks like on that campus, the social aspect of it, the coaching aspect of it, NIL aspect of it, the academics of it. So what I would do, ask the questions that you want to get answers. The don'ts is go in there and be a mute. Yeah. Don't ask the questions. Don't go in there wanting to know what am I getting myself into and show up and say, hey, coach, everything's great. Or if a coach says, hey, do you have any other questions? They'll say, no, I don't have any. Craziest thing I've ever heard. You sat down and listened to a person lecture you for an hour in a visit. And I ask you, do you have any questions to follow up any of this information I just gave you? No, we're good. Can't be good. There has to be something that I wasn't clear on and you need more information on, or I need to gather some more information on your next visit to give you.
Yeah. Sounds a lot like a job interview. Be prepared to ask questions as the interviewee, not just the interviewer. So once those offers go out, there's confusion sometimes about what is a committable offer versus a non-committable offer. And to some people watching, they may have heard that term for the first time, just assuming that all offers are committable. So how would you suggest that prospects navigate that confusion?
The first thing that you want to remove is assumption. Don't assume something. Ask the questions that you want to get answered. So let's play the rollout. You're on campus. You're a high 5-star, 4-star prospect. I come home and say, Emily, I'm gonna offer you a scholarship. You'll say, wow, thank you. No, the next question you say, okay, coach, I appreciate that. I'm excited. I thank you for doing that, for giving me the opportunity to come to your school. But is that offer a committable offer? And that coach should either say, yes, it is, or it's contingency on if you show up to our camp, run and do A, B, C, and D, or say, hey, I'm gonna make sure that this can be a committable offer after your 4 games. But if you don't ask that question if it's committable or not, you don't know. Second, I would also say, listen, is it okay if I sit down with your head coach to see if that offer is coming from the man in charge other than a staffer or assistant coach? Because assistant coaches offer 50 to 100 kids. The head coach is the only one to know which one are we taking. So when I go in front of the head coach and say, coach, I'm ready to commit today because Coach A just offered me a scholarship. Is it okay? You're going to get your answer right then and there. The worst thing you can do is walk off of that campus not understanding is this a real or fake offer. Because once we're in business and once we're in this relationship of getting to know each other from the 9th grade on, yeah, everything I'm telling you is real. It's positive. It's going to help you out because I want this relationship to go on because at some point we all know the business of college football right now. Someone's going to come out and offer you $1 more than I can. Yeah. But if our relationship is strong, and you understand what I'm doing for you is to educate you and make you be the best person that you possibly can be, yeah, you're going to turn that $1 down and say, no, I'm going to stick around with Smoke because Smoke got my best interest in his hand.
So an offer could just mean that we're showing interest, but you have to ask that follow-up question, is this committable?
Ask the question, you'll get the answer. If you don't ask the question, you'll get strung along for that journey how long as they want to. Yeah. And also you have to remember, when you are a recruit, you're one of many. And it's like playing musical chairs. If there's 4 chairs and I offered 5, understand that, hey, listen, there's going to be odd man out. And I'm going to let you know off the top. If 4 of those people call before you do, yeah, those chairs are taken. But I'm also going to give you the grace and the respect of calling you and letting you know that, hey, listen, it's now off the table. You need to proceed on to the next school. And that's just doing fair business. Because we all know with this transfer portal, business is not over on the first signing. I got to see you at some point else down the road. And I want to do fair business with you. So not only can I sell myself to you, but you might have a younger brother, a cousin, a friend along the way that if I treated you right, you're all sending back to me.
Sounds like the gist of this is to ask a lot of questions and assume nothing.
Perfect.
Right?
If you got anything out of this, ask questions, assume nothing.